So I am going to make guacamole for the very first time in my whole life, and believe it or not, it came out really well. So I'd like to share with you what the fuck I did. So pay attention. First, I take 5 Hass avocados and I'm going to open them up. I'm going to scoop out the insides and I'm going to squish them into a bowl. This is pretty friggin' easy. I don't know if you guys have ever opened up a Hass avocado before, but you just run the knife in the middle of the avocado around this giant seed in the middle. You twist it, kind of like you're twisting, I don't know, like a doorknob on either side. And then the avocado opens up. You're going to scoop out the insides on either side of the skin, and then you're good. Oh, you got to get the seed out first. That's a pain in the ass. So you got to whack it with the knife, and if you whack it good, the seed just kind of pops out like that. Now, the inside of the avocado doesn't have to be like perfect. It can be a little overripe, like the one you're looking at now has like bits of black, or I should say like gray in it. That just means it's overripe. There's nothing wrong with it. You can still eat it. It's still yummy. Doesn't mean anything. The next one's going to be like absolutely perfectly green. So it's still just delicious and yumminess. So just stick your knife into the middle of the avocado and twist it around lengthwise. And then you're going to twist on either side. Ta-da! Whack the knife into the seed. Whoop. And twist the knife. And the seed pops out. I'm just going to scrape some of that yumminess off the seed because that's expensive yumminess. In New York, avocados are about $1 a piece or $1.50 a piece. So I'm just going to scrape some of that off. And then you're going to scoop it out. You're going to go ahead and do that with all 5 avocados. Next, we're going to take a lemon, and we're also going to get some garlic. I'm just getting it out of the fridge, so give me a second. If I can open up the damn bag of garlic. Though I love this pre-peeled garlic, getting it out of the friggin' bag is almost as hard as peeling it. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to juice the lemon. When you juice lemons or limes, you're going to want to squish it. So you squish and roll, and that releases all the juices on the inside. You're going to cut it in the middle, and then you're going to squish it with the cut side up. The cut side up is going to make the seeds, if they decide to fall out, stay in your hand and not all over whatever you're squishing it in. So the seeds won't fall out into what you're squishing it in. It'll stay into the lemon. It's a good thing. And if you're going to turn it on its side like I just did, you're just going to keep your hand in the way so that, you know, the seeds don't come out into what you're squishing it in. It's a good thing. This one was really juicy, so that was definitely good. Next, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of shushing the lemon juice around. The whole point of putting lemon juice in it is so that it doesn't turn like black. It can kind of stay a little bit green. It's the acidity in the lemon. You can also use limes if you want to, but I just like lemon. Traditionally they use lime, but I like lemon. So I just do like a shake, kind of like a salad flip. But, you know, use lime if you want to. Next, I'm going to start chopping the garlic. So you just line it up and start chopping. You want to chop it for quite some time because you want to get it into tiny little pieces. You don't want to squish it because the juice is going to be too much. A garlic press is going to be too much. If you're going to use a garlic press, then you want to use less garlic. Okay? It's going to be too much. Too heavy duty. But I do want pieces in there, so I'm going to go ahead and chop. I'm going to be here chopping for quite some time, so you just want to stare at me chopping. Mazel tov. And I think I'm about done, so I'm going to go ahead and scrape into the bowl. Do a scoop and dump. Scoop and dump. I do want to get all the garlic off of my little plastic chopping board. Now I do want to use a plastic chopping board, even though it can be a pain in the ass, because all this shit is really stinky. So if I use a wooden chopping board, it's going to be such a pain in the hiney to get that smell off of the chopping board. And what I'm doing now is I'm cutting cilantro. Cilantro looks a lot like parsley, but the smell is 100% different. It is so different. So I'm just taking as much cilantro as I feel I need. You can use as little or as much as you want. I'm going to use probably about a quarter cup of cilantro after I cut it up. So I'm just hacking it off. I'm just making sure it looks good. Now I'm going to start picking the cilantro leaves off of the branches, because I don't want to chop up the branches. It's a lengthy process, but it's definitely worth it. Kind of a pain in the ass, but whatever. So you're just going to collect it into a little pile in the middle of your chopping board. And when you're all set, you're going to collect it and start chopping. You don't have to be too precise with the chopping of the cilantro because the leaves are so small, but just make sure that you do in fact chop it, because you are going to release some of the, I guess they're oils in the cilantro, and that's really going to flavor the guacamole. So I'm cutting it both ways just to make sure that I make it, you know, as small as I possibly can. It's definitely hard to cut it. I think I'm all set, so I'm just gonna into the bowl. Okay, finally, last ingredient. I use Tostitos chunky salsa. I like the medium because I like a little bit of heat. You can use mild if you want to. You can use any type of salsa you prefer. You know, if you make your own, go right ahead. I like to use a tablespoon per avocado. So you're going to see me use 6 tablespoons per 5 avocados. I just used that because I was rounding. Because some of them, you know, some of my tablespoons were a little smaller than others. And at this point, I'm just going to start mixing. And you're going to notice that I didn't use salt yet. Alright, so I'm also going to add some salt in a second. And the salt is going to be to your taste. Don't go too crazy on the salt. Definitely make it 2 trips to the salt shaker. I like to use sea salt, but, you know, use whatever you like. That was maybe 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon. Probably closer to 1/4 teaspoon. Not much. And that's going to be scoop 5 and scoop 6. So now I'm going to start moving it around and breaking up the avocado. You can use one of those mashers, you know, the potato mashers, if you like it really smooth. I like lumpy guacamole. But whatever you prefer, go right ahead. I'm going to break up quite a few pieces. I don't want, you know, half an avocado in my face when I'm trying to get a chip in my mouth. Alright, well I do, but, you know, it's a little selfish of me, so I'm going to break it up. This looks pretty damn good. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and try a teeny tiny bit. And in my eyes, needs a smidgen of salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a smidgen more salt.